I want to speak to you today about what it takes to build a sustainable brand, an institution, a transgenerational business. Do you remember any brands you used to know in maybe primary school or secondary school that just suddenly disappeared? When I was starting my business, I was very clear I didn't want to be one of those ones. So I literally set my benchmark as companies like Coca-Cola, Mercedes-Benz that have been here forever, and decided that whatever it took to build those kind of systems and structures that would ensure my own business doesn't die out with me, I was going to do that right from the beginning. So let's just touch on four things today. The first thing I want to talk about is operational excellence, and this ties in with your vision. So yes, you must have a vision for a sustainable business. You must have a vision for something that is literally bigger than yourself. You must have a vision whereby what you do on a day-to-day is not all that there is to you. You're building something you can hand over to the next generation and the generation after, and not necessarily just your children. Operational excellence helps you to do this, and some of the things you'll be looking at under operational excellence are your quality focus, the quality of your systems, the quality of your processes, the quality of your products, the quality of your service, the quality of your customer experiences, and how focused you are on making sure that you deliver value to your customers consistently in and out of season. Your operational excellence is going to have to do with things like your asset integrity, how much focus you give to maintenance of your assets that you derive your services from and your products from, how much you're looking at the continuous improvement mindset in your operations, how much time you devote to research, to innovation, and strategic planning, how much technology you try to leverage on to make sure that your business is always at its best, time in and time out. The second thing we want to talk about is your people. People are always going to be fundamentally critical to your success, or they could be the things that the ones that mar your ability to grow. So you have to focus again on the quality of your people. That means that your recruitment has to be very strategic. And one of the key things you pay attention to in recruitment is this: hire very slowly. Hire very slowly. Make sure that you take the time to look for people that have the competencies, yes, but that also have the value system, the character that will suit the operations of your company and where it is that you're going. You want people that have a broad mindset and that have headroom to grow within your system so that you're not continuously churning. That means you yourself have to put in place the best practices and policies from an HR point of view, because you want to be able to treat your employees as valued assets. You want to treat them as your internal customers. You want to make sure they have a good sense of ownership and a feel that the business actually values them. One of the things that we do in my company, for instance, is a profit share. And that helps our people to see themselves as part of driving down costs and increasing the bottom line, because they have something to gain at the end of the day. When the business does well, everybody's happy. Okay, you also have to look at how you use training, assignmentology, and job rotation and things to keep that vibrancy amongst your people. You can't build an institution without people. I've had people working for me for over 20 years, for instance, and that means that I'm building and retaining institutional knowledge and capacity. Think about it. Institution building, it's about people, people, people. The other thing I want to touch on quickly is about governance. You can't build a formidable business, you can't build a transgenerational business if everything centers around you. No, you have to build a clear system of governance and that takes into cognizance defined structures. So you ask yourself, do I have an organogram that works for today? But more importantly, do I have another one that works for the future? And what are the interrelationships between every job function, every department, and the broader organization? Those things have to be clearly mapped out. Along with your structures, then again, is the imperative for very clearly articulated policies and processes guiding every aspect of your business, and a strong compliance thrust, internal compliance. And that means you yourself, as the owner of the business, especially if you are an owner manager, you have to be first of all accountable to complying with the systems, the policies and processes that are in place. Because once you yourself begin to negate those things, you break it all down and you can't build something sustainable where there is so much disorder internally. So another thing that has to do with governance is your regulatory compliance. You have to build a system where when it comes to whether it is taxes and levies or licenses and permits, they are non-negotiables within your organization. These are the things that also keep you recognized as a responsible corporate citizen, even within the environment that you operate. Of course, governance also has to do with the ethics of your business. So that's integrity work, and you make sure that it's not just a core value stated on the wall somewhere, but that there are clear policies and practices that actually exemplify that you're working an ethical work. That's the only way to stay over the long term. If you make compromises in the short term, it catches up with you at some point in time. The last thing I want to say on the governance narrative is that there is an imperative, therefore, for you to also set up a board of directors. And if you remember in one of our earlier conversations around the issue of business, I touched on the fact that in looking at a sustainable business, you also have to think about who you bring on board in your company, their value system. You want to think about the board from the point of view of diversity both from the gender perspective, the age perspective, the experience perspective. When you have a sound board of directors that are clear about their fiduciary responsibility to the company, and they're clear and they have the competence to help you to drive the strategic vision, you're better placed for an institution building of an organization that can transcend you, and the board is able to take decisions that have nothing to do with the fact that you own the business or you're physically present in the business. The last thing I want to talk about on this institution building journey is that of partnerships, because you can't go it alone. First of all, again, the issue of quality. The quality of your partnerships is also critical. You want to be able to look at who are your alliances, who are your strategic alliances, who are your technical and commercial alliances, what kind of networks do you have access to, who are you meeting and interacting with. You want to think about opportunities for mergers and acquisitions that may come, because sometimes you have to be overtaken or you have to take over, or should I say buy over another firm to be able to grow and to scale. So you have to have an open mindset that is not about me being the boss, it's about me building something that is bigger than myself. And if such opportunities come, you should be willing to step away so that the company can grow. Remember, in institution building, it's not about you, it's about the business. What this means, therefore, is that you have to, having put in place all the system structures with the right people and all that, and the governance framework, open yourself up to partnerships with strategic or institutional investors. For instance, venture capital partners, private equity firms, and the like, that have the ability to not just infuse capital into your business, but help you to get a tighter grip on the management, on the administration of your business, and together you can create quantum leaps that you could not reasonably have done by yourself. I tell you this from experience because I had the privilege of having a fabulous VC in my business for about 7 years, and I can promise you that the company that came out after that experience was much bigger, much stronger, and much more formidable than before they came in. So we've been talking about what it takes to build a formidable institution, not just running a business, but building an institution, something that will transcend you and transcend your generation. I've talked about operational excellence. We've touched a lot on quality from different dimensions. I've talked about people. I've talked about your governance system, and I've talked about partnerships. And I hope you've taken something from what I've said. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to send them to me. I'll get back to you. And I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation about building brands that outlive you. I look forward to seeing you on the journey. I hope it's been useful once again. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.